Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video I'm going to show you how to play the guitar solo from the classic Dokken song, Alone Again. Now just like the original song, you want to make sure your guitar is tuned down 1/2 step. So E becomes E flat, A becomes A flat, D becomes D flat, etc. You know the drill. First thing I'm going to do is play the entire solo for you slowly with the tabs on the screen. That way the more advanced players can get through this more quickly, and then after that we'll break it down into bite-sized pieces. Let's go. Alright, here's section 1 at normal and then slow speed. Alright, so we're going to break it up into 3 boxes, and in the first one we do this. Now the first thing I want to mention here is George Lynch was using a ton of gain, a ton of distortion, much more than I typically use. And because of that, there's a lot of string noise in this solo that you can hear. So it starts off with some of that noise, and what I typically do is just do a little quick reverse rake, followed by a slide down to the 7th fret of A. Something like that. You add some wide vibrato and then slide down. Then in the second box we play this. So we start by sliding up to the 7th fret of A, followed by 4th fret of D, and then 5th fret of D, pull off to 4, and then 5 of A, open A, palm muted, and then 3rd fret of A, wide vibrato. Now a lot of times I'll see people replace the open A with the note B. For example, at the 7th fret of the low E, like this. But if you listen closely, and if you listen to the isolated guitar tracks, which you can find on YouTube, you'll hear it's an open A note. Either way, you should be fine though. Then in the final box, so you're playing 7th fret of the D string, add a pinch harmonic, bend up, then back down and wide vibrato. And then 5 on D, hammer on to 7, pull off to 5, down to 4, so 5, 7, 5, 4. And then 5th fret of A, add wide vibrato. It's that last box again. Alright, let's tie those 3 boxes together and play section 1 one more time, slowly and then at normal speed. Alright, let's move on to section 2. Here's section 2 at normal and then slow speed. Once again, we'll break it up into a couple of boxes, and in the first one we do this. So you're starting off by sliding up to the 9th fret of the D string without picking it. You can pick it if you want, but it doesn't sound like George picked it to me. And then 7 of G, 9 of G, add wide vibrato. And then slide down. Here's that first box again. Then in the second box. So you're sliding up to the 7th fret of G without picking it, and then hammering on to 9. Of course, you can pick the first note if you want. Then 7 of B, followed by 8 of B, pull off to 7. Then 9G, 7G, 10D. Add vibrato. There's that second box again, slowly. Then in the final box, now before you hit that 10th fret of the B string note and bend it up, there's a little string scratch like George raked into it. Okay? And then you hold that bend for a little bit. And then 7 of high E, 10 of high E. And then 10 of B, really wide vibrato. The vibrato it's almost like bending, right? It's almost like a full step bend when you do this. Okay? But it's a wide vibrato. Okay, let's play section 2 one more time, slowly and then at normal speed. All right, let's move on to section 3. All right, here's section 3 at normal and then slow speed. Okay, we're going to break it up into 3 boxes, and the first one we do this. Let me slow that down for you. Now the first part, you might not think is there, but it is. It's a very quick little... It's very buried in the mix. In fact, the only way I was able to discern what it was by listening to those isolated guitar tracks slowed really far down. You can even skip that. You can even just rake into it. And no one's going to know the difference because it's so hard to hear in there. But there's that little trill in there. So it's 12 of B, hammer on to 15, pull off to 12. And then 15 of B, bend up a full step. Hold it for a little bit, back down halfway, and then back up. And then wide vibrato, okay? And then in the second box, we do this. Let me slow that down. So once again, we have that little movement. It's very faint in the mix, a little bit more audible this time than the first time around. So again, it's 12 of B, hammer on to 15, pull off to 12 really quickly. And then 14 of high E, bend up a half a step. So it's bending from here to here. Hold it for a little bit, bring it down slowly. And then 12 of high E, hammer to 14, pull off to 12. 13 of B, add wide vibrato. Then in the final box, so you're going to rake up to the 17th fret of the high E, and then bend it up a full step. At the top of the bend, hit it and bring it back down. Wide vibrato. All right, let's tie those 3 boxes together and play section 3 one more time at normal and then slow speed. All right, let's move on to section 4. Okay, here's section 4 at normal and then slow speed. It's hard to do that funny, slidey vibrato thing slowly. And there's an alternate way. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. I'll show you an alternate way to play that part that sounds just as good, maybe even better. All right, but in the first box, we're going to do this. All right, we're going to start with a little backwards rake there, real quick. Then we're going to play 22nd fret of high E, bend up, bring it back down, and then play it again with wide vibrato. And then slide down. Then in the second box, so you're going to slide up to the 20th fret of the B string quickly, and then 7 of high E, 20 of high E, pull off to 19, pull off to 17, 19 of high E, wide vibrato, slide down. Then in the final box, let me slow that down again for you. Again, it's hard to do the slidey thing slow. We're going to come to that in just a minute. But first, so you'll slide quickly up to the 19th fret of B, followed by 17 of high E. And then 20, 19, 17 on B. So far. And then 19 of G, bend up a full step. Then you play the 19th fret of the G string, and you do that, slidey sideways vibrato thing. I'm not good at it. Okay, it's not something that I find very practical or that I like doing, but that's what I hear George doing in this solo. And I talked about this when I did the Round and Round solo from Rat. Warren DeMartini also sometimes does the slidey kind of vibrato thing. You can see the way I tabbed it, it's like you're going up and down from the 19th to the 14th fret and back. That's an approximation. Don't get hung up on that, just feel it. Now sometimes I actually add just a tiny bit of vibrato before I do the slidey thing. That just helps me get focused. But you'll figure out what works for you. Now if you don't like playing that sideways slidey vibrato thing, you can simply play the 19th fret of the G string and add wide vibrato like this. Okay? Most people won't know the difference. And when you watch George play this solo live, he always improvises a little bit. And while I don't see him do the slidey thing, when you listen to the recording, it's not a wide vibrato because the wide vibrato will bring the pitch up. If you listen closely, the pitch is only going down, right? So you might think it could be a whammy bar, but it's not. It's the slidey thing. Trust me on that. But again, you can replace it with wide vibrato if you want. All right, let's tie those 3 boxes together. Play section 4 one more time at slow and then normal speed. All right, let's move on to section 5. And then finally here's section 5 at normal and then slow speed. Let's break it up into 5 boxes, and in the first we do this. So you're sliding up to the 16th fret of the D string without picking it. You can pick it if you want, of course. And then 14G, 16G. And then 15, 17 on B. Then 15 again on B, hammer on to 17, pull off to 15, down to 13. Let's play the first box again, slowly. Then in the second box. So you start by playing 15 of B, and then 13 of B, hammer on to 15, pull off to 13, slide down to 12. Then in the third box, so it's 13 of B, and then 12 of B, hammer to 13, pull off to 12, slide down to 10. Then in the fourth box, so it's 12 of B, and then 10 of B, hammer to 12, pull off to 10, slide down to 8. Then in the final box, so it's 10 on B, and then 8 on B, hammer to 10, pull off to 8, slide down to 7. So far. And then that little quirky movement at the end. So you're basically sliding down from 7 of B to 5 really quickly and adding vibrato. But you'll notice that I pull in the 8th fret there. I'm not really playing the 8th fret. I'm just kind of pulling off from it really quickly to the 7th. That's just what I do to make it sound a little bit more fluid. But you can play it either way. You can just slide down from 7 to 5. But it's a quick movement either way. Versus. All right, let's tie those 5 boxes together. Play section 5 one more time at slow and then normal speed. Alright, that was my video showing you how to play the guitar solo from Dokken's classic Alone Again. If you found it helpful or informative, I would appreciate a thumbs up, and please hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already and you want to see videos like this in the future. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I will attempt to answer them as time allows. Until next time, rock on.